Oh yeah, I've been fucking with Russ. Russ, that dude. Russ, my nigga. All right, let's see what the hell's going on. All right, Russ exposes how the music industry fakes streams. I want to know this. I actually want to know this for myself.
Labels fucking art. How these labels fucking artists with the streams.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it, but it feels like they're doing it.
Yeah.
And how are they tricking us? Because I see these people that go crazy, album goes #1, but then they can't fill up a show.
Right.
So the math is not math.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
Is that, yo, so the math is not mathing. I don't understand it. How are you selling out? Or how do you have 1 billion streams? You got all of these listens, all of these listeners, all these views, but you go to do a show and there's 20 people in the stands. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Who's listening to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. And you see it all the time.
Explain it. Where
I mean, so it's one of those things that like everyone in the industry knows is going on.
Which is?
Faking the streams. It's a real thing.
So the label buys the streams from Spotify?
So here's the deal. When you talk to these people, because I've talked to these people, because I've been like, what is this? How are y'all doing this? They never disclose the mechanics of like how they actually fake the streams. There's like, rumors of like streaming farms, or we're delving out fucking computers in third world countries and hacking the back end to make it look like it's an IP from the US. Yeah. Whatever, like all this nutty shit. But the reality is the labels are spending money and, devil's advocate, they're treating it like a marketing expense. Because in a sense, it like almost is.
Yeah.
You're going to spend $100,000 on billboards. You're going to spend $100,000 on streams.
Right.
The streams is going to put you in a playlist.
You're going to spend real money to get fake streams that equate to real money. So that's why they think it makes sense, because it's like, okay, the streams are fake, but the money's real. So what do we care? Especially they're not doing it with like up and coming artists who like you wouldn't believe it. They're doing it with people like where it's okay if let's say your song has
hold on,
streams.
hold on. Say names. It sounded like he was about to say some names. He said they're doing it with. But he ain't say the name. What's up, boy? He said they doing it with who they doing it with. Let me know. Let me know who they doing it with, bruh. Let me know who they doing it with.
Right? Organically. But let's say with fake streams, now you're at 900 million. No one's gonna sit there and be like, this is more like a 500 million stream song.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, this is a big song, makes sense it has 900 million.
That's honestly so smart.
Yeah, they're not doing it to the dude across the street and giving him 1 billion streams. They're doing it to people who really can get 500 million. But let's just pump it to get 900.
Now you're getting #1.
Now you get
so
#1.
you can pay for a #1.
Oh yeah. What?
What does
For
the
sure.
#1 cost?
What's the #1 cost?
I mean, that's crazy to even think about that.
I mean,
what does a #1 song in America cost?
Look, the reality is this. You do have to have a real fan base to a certain extent.
Right. Of course.
You have to have people who are really consuming the music.
Right.
And your song has to actually be moving around organically. Once it's that, then they'll push the button on it. And it just depends, like it's a campaign. It could be like, it's like a 12-week campaign and it might be 60 grand, 70 grand, whatever it is.
That's it.
And it's, oh yeah.
To have the #1 song
And
on
that
Spotify.
70 grand, the ROI is crazy because that 70 grand might bring you back 200, 300.
Yeah, and even just seeing the song #1, you're more likely to check it out. Now,
Right, because people are sheep. And it's just...
if you see
and it's
something
also,
successful.
Labels are like, all CEOs at labels are obsessed with market share. Like, who has the market share? Sony has 25%.
Market share means the amount of streamed
like whose
songs at that moment.
Right. And
of all total streams, how many percent's yours?
Right. And there's like bonuses that are associated with who's in
because that's their incentive structure.
Right.
If you're #1, you're going to get the trickle down, so they're going to try to boost.
Right.
Now, maybe you can't quantify it, but you said you can't do it with any song. Well, you could take it from number 10 to #1, or you got to be like 3, and then
No,
I can
I
put you
mean,
#1.
look, Spotify even just put out this statement that said anything over what was it, 80% and 90%?
Yeah.
Anything over 90,
they're gonna call out. So you could be 89% fake streams.
But that's
We're
what
not
that's
gonna say
saying.
shit, but over,
It's like that was Spotify's way of saying we know what's going on. We're okay with it.
We're profiting off it.
Of course.
Of course, because
What they go. I mean, obviously, they're making money off it. Like they know what's going on. Of course, they know. Why would they not know? You know what I'm saying? They probably low key encouraging it. Low key. I don't know that for sure. But I mean, come on, man.
somebody doing 1 billion streams on your platform is a good look for your platform.
Yes.
Because you're bragging about the amount of streams on your platform.
Think about where Apple Music loses to Spotify. One, they don't show the streams. Two, when it came out like last year that there was only one song that has 1 billion streams on there, like it just doesn't look as sexy as Spotify.
And I feel like as a consumer, nobody's listening to Apple Music. Spotify must be better. I don't know shit. Right. I'm just gonna go with the bigger one.
So the fake streams help the artist and the platform.
And the label. So like everyone wins. That's why no one's gonna say anything.
Think about it. If you're invested in Spotify, if your money is in Spotify shares, you want to know that it's getting the most streams and it's beating Apple by X.
And the labels are invested. I remember when I was.
That's the craziest shit.
I remember when I was with Columbia, and Columbia. You know, there was a point in time where like they sold their shares of Spotify, whatever the fuck. But everyone on the label, just depending on how many streams you were doing, you got to check. I got a crazy check from Columbia selling their shares of Spotify. Yeah. So,
Why did you get the crazy check?
Because I was doing a lot of streams on Spotify.
You get your share of the stream money.
Right. Right.
So this is crazy. Billy Corgan was on Rogan talking about this. Did you see that episode?
No.
Where he was like, and I don't know how factual this is, but this is what he said. He's like, the labels took equity pieces in the streaming platforms and then gave the streamers sweetheart deals on the artist music. So basically, we're gonna charge you less. For the artist music, which means the artist gets less, but we are personally going to take equity positions in those companies. So give me a little bit of Spotify, I'm going to give you this artist's music for little, but when your brand builds, because it needs us to build, I get that, but you know who doesn't get that?
The artist.
The artist.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And you know, but it's like
That's
the artist
up.
uses all of that for leverage to go get sponsorships, and it's all like fame driven. It's all like, the streams might be fake, but me being perceived as a massive artist
make money on the
is
road.
real.
Monetize.
So now I'm getting this, now I'm getting that, and I'm monetizing it with this brand or with this sponsorship, whatever it is. So it's like, it's all just a fucking finesse, and it's all a scam.
And there's some artists that are like, I'm just gonna live off of my deal, right? They're like, I don't even care if I make enough money to pay back the company or the label, whatever it is. They're gonna give me my advance, that's what I make. Right? And
well, and it's so funny when artists are like,
nah, man. Cause you gotta pay that shit back, bro. Otherwise, you're just gonna be indebted to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's where the slave shit comes in. You know what I mean?
Like, I haven't seen a check since I got signed. It's like, because you're not recouped.
You didn't make any money.
Like, what are you so confused about? It's like, you didn't make the money back.
Is it possible the artists don't know?
Oh yeah, I don't think any of the artists know that their streams are being faked.
Wow.
No, but that's and here's the thing.
That's
right?
heartbreaking.
But here's the thing. That's why. First of all, I encourage every artist, audit your label. Make sure there's an audit clause. Like I'm auditing, who I was with, and there's a lot of money being found. Yeah, because the reality is like you don't know. There's a lot of things that are just hidden in those statements and the marketing expenses, and the reason why, like, it's if you're signed to a major label, right? It's so easy to just deny everything because there's a buffer. There's a label. The label's the middleman between the fake streams and you. So if it comes out that so-and-so is faking their streams, you can just play dumb. Be like, I had no idea.
The label must have did it.
Yeah, I didn't know what the label was spending their money on.
And when I have a hit song that has 1 billion streams, I'm not going to go, are we sure it's a billion?
And this is not me, like, speculating, right? This is me talking to, like, top 5 most streamed artists in the world and them talking to CEOs and CEOs admitting. And me on the phone with like managers of massive artists and on the phone with the dude who fakes the stream. in them saying like what's going on.
Wow.
Dude, you know what I just
So this is not, it's not like I'm not sitting here
It's not
like
conspiratorial. This is how
I really think people are fake. And like once you know.
He say, I know. That's essentially what he's saying. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, this shit actually does happen. And a lot of people was talking about how, you know, they think like Russ was like an industry plant, you know, and you know, he doesn't really have a real fan base like that. All that's cap. You know, Russ can rap. You know what I'm saying? Russ is really, you know what I mean? He really like that. You know, and I was watching Russ and I was watching him talk about how fucked up the music industry is for years. Years he was talking about this. So, you know, this ain't nothing new.
Oh, it's really easy to tell which songs are being fake.
Who's the most fake?
Yeah.
No, I can't say that.
Listen, I'm not gonna. We were talking on Brilliant Idiots, and Charlamagne said it was a Drake song that came out. It was a Drake and SZA song.
SZA, yeah.
And he was like, it went number 1 1 week.
Yeah.
And the next week it just fell off.
Right.
And he was like, listen, those are the types of things where you go, are these songs being pumped up by the label? Because I think Doja Cat's song Paint the Town Red had been in that top 5 for weeks.
Right.
That you're not going to keep faking streams
Yes,
for.
you are.
For really?
I'm not saying that she was doing that.
But you would fake
but I'm
streams
just
for
saying,
months?
I'm just saying, like, this is the thing.
Think of the perception you
You're
just had of
getting
Doja
real,
Cat.
like, it has
And
to
how
be a
big she must
song.
be.
But there's going to be diminishing returns if you keep having to spend $100 grand every month, no?
Well, it's not $100 every month. Because it's really just spending enough money to hack the algorithm.
So 6ix9ine was right. Is that what you're trying to say?
What was he saying? Depends on what he said.
Right. What he said.
It's
It's true. That's fact.
No, he said something about they took his number 1 by buying streams for some artists.
Yeah, I mean, like, the reality is they're not
Bundles
going
or
to
something?
do it, and it doesn't make sense to do it with something that's not already a moving train.
Got it.
When it's already a moving train, the public won't know
even
the difference.
wonder, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a song that genuinely has 500 million streams, if we juice it and now it has 900 million, like I said, you're not going to sit there and be like, nah, I don't believe it has 900 million, because it's massive, organically.
Yeah.
Right.
So Donda and what was it, Certified Lover Boy, when we were all really fixated on who was going to be number 1.
Yeah.
Whoever was number 1, theoretically, they could have just paid and be
For
like,
sure.
And it almost makes me sorry.
But it's like, the labels are it's a business. They're looking at it like we're protecting our investment,
of course.
one, and we're trying to obtain as much of the market share as possible.
Yep.
And they also know, this is just like a psychology thing. It's like fake commotion ends up creating real commotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
if I'm just over here making a spectacle and it's a fake spectacle, the fake spectacle attracts real eyes, and now the real eyes are over here like, what is that spectacle?
Yeah.
And now I have real people tuned in off of fake commotion.
And so here's a question, because we all see academics that post about who sells what in the first week or whatever. I think it was French Montana had like a really bad first week.
Right.
Is that French Montana standing on his own honor and being like, I refuse to play into this, buy any streams? Or do you think the label might be like, I'm assuming it's with a label, would be like, you know, we're kind of done with you, and you're gonna have an embarrassingly low number because it's the real number, whereas everybody else getting inflated, but your shit is gonna sit low.
I don't know what his situation. Well, I know like French is my guy, and I actually like helped him get the deal that he has.
I think French is great. That's why
I think
we're
he's.
all like,
But it's like, either
Shout out to French.
Sometimes maybe it's not just so transparent where they're like, hey, do you want to fake your streams or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like, it's not a moving train. So we're not going to push the button on it because it's not a moving train yet.
Yeah, if the album came out with some heat, then they could put
Put it like this,
sauce
right?
on it.
Put it like this, full transparency. Now, I also know, and I've said this in interviews before, like this is the thing I'm like worried about, is like me pointing the finger and calling shit out.
Right.
All that's going to happen is people are like, no, you're faking your stream. You know what I'm saying?
You know so much.
Right, like.
Right. I see what he's saying. Like, you know, damn nigga, you know so much shit. Are you doing it? You all up in everybody else's business. Are you doing that shit, nigga? You doing that shit, nigga? Hell. God damn, you doing that shit? That is hilarious, man.
How do you know? And you were on the phone. 9, you know what? who even listens to Russ? You're faking your stream. But
you got people coming out to shows. I think that's the difference maker right there.
Real bodies.
That
but
clip of
I
you
will
in
say
India
this
was
for full
crazy.
transparency. This is the truth. 315 is a song I have that I put out, I don't know, 3 years ago. And right now it's doing, 500,000 streams a day on Spotify. There was a time where it was doing 800 and 900,000, right? And the threshold to go into today's top hits is like they want to see you getting like 1.1, right? And that's like, once you're in today's top hits, over with, right? So we got on the phone, because I was like, Milan, I hit my manager, I was like, Milan, see what this guy, like, because I've like, low-key, I'm like planning like a fucking Vice documentary. I'm like exposing the whole shit. I'm like, Milan, hit this guy, like, what is the like process of this shit? But it's like, so he talks to him, and he's like, look, you
got to fake his
this
voice.
is the perfect song to do it because it's crushing organically.
Nobody's going to know the difference between 200,000 streams.
315 organically was before TikTok and Billboard did the thing where there was a Billboard chart for TikTok songs. 315 was the #1 song on TikTok in the world. You know what I mean? Organically. So once again, if I was to boost that, what is anyone going to say? No, I hear it everywhere on TikTok, so it kind of checks out. Makes sense.
Right.
And we talked to the dude, or Milan talked to him.
That's some crazy shit when you think about it. Like, and it makes sense. Because in my mind, I thought it was the other way around, right? Where they're gonna inflate somebody's like an up and coming streamer, up and coming artist, rapper, singer, whatever, and they're gonna inflate their numbers so it looks like they have way more of an audience, and you just kind of be like, oh damn, they're blowing up, right? You kind of look at that and be like, oh shit, they're blowing up. They got a lot of fans. They got a lot of shit, and then it'll make you want to check out more of their music and stuff. So I thought that's kind of what they were doing with like the newer artists, but he's saying it's actually the opposite. They're actually doing it with the more well-known artists. Now, what he's saying is they're not just gonna fake a person's stream. They're not gonna just fake anybody's stream. Like, you have to have motion out here. Like, you gotta have some type of fan base out here that can kind of, help move your shit along, right? And especially with TikTok helping blow people's music up, and inflate the numbers a lot more with TikTok, nobody's gonna know the difference between a song that's doing 900,000, and then 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people hear it everywhere, so they're just gonna assume, oh, okay, that's the real number. Like, nobody's gonna, So I get what he's saying. I understand exactly what he's saying, but damn, man, that's some sneaky ass shit. But again, it's a business, it's a business. They're looking at it as an investment, and I get that. I understand they're investing into these artists, and, they want to see some return, so I understand you got to do whatever you got to do to make that happen, but that's still some crazy ass shit right there, bruh.
And told us, it's like an 8 to 12 week campaign. You spend 35, 40 grand and like, that's it. And then it's out of here. Wow. And now guess what? Now it goes from, once again, it goes from 800,000 organic streams a day to now maybe it is doing that 1.2 million threshold. And now Spotify puts it in today's top hits.
And now it's at 2 million.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And now radio's like, wait, this is a smash.
It's a multiplier.
And so all of a sudden, that extra 400,000 streams that are fake get a whole bunch of real ears but I just could not live with myself if I did it, because the reason why, like, and I'm gonna be honest, it's so tempting.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I've even tweeted about it before where it's like, wait a second. If everyone's on steroids, am I an idiot?
Yeah. It's the baseball shit.
Am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I being naive and almost childish where it's like, I'm sitting here still trying to like play the game the right way.
Right.
And everyone else is like, dog, what are you doing? Like, we're all doing this, right? Yeah. And so I start, I oscillate with like yes and no every day, but I just have faith and I know that house is going to come crumbling down. And I don't want to be in it when it does. Because guess what it'll do? It won't just be oh, Russ, you faked the streams on 315, it'll send the whole catalog into question.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially because
that would fucking ruin me.
and especially because
You know
you're
what I'm saying?
independent.
Right.
If you're not independent, if you're already part of the label system,
Right.
even if you put it all into question, they wouldn't be incentivized to tear them down.
Right.
But
Right.
to you,
Oh, yeah.
there are people I'm sure that are part of the industry that have heard all the shit that you said and then seen your success without them, and they're
bro,
like,
they're waiting for
they
me to
can't
fake
wait.
the second if I did it.
It just you can't. Like, bro, you can't do it. I like that he's honest. He's like, I'd be lying if I said I don't think about it from time to time. But I know I can't be the one to do it because for years, I've been the one telling all of these industry secrets, right? I've been the one really like exposing shit, So what would that look like for me to say I'm independent, I'm doing all this myself, and then I go and fake streams and it would fuck up every single thing I've ever said. You know what I'm saying? And everything I stand for as an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? Like being independent, that's literally what it means to do it yourself. You know what I mean? To build the audience yourself. And you don't want to put not only the music into question, but all of the hard work that you put in to that over the years into question, right? Because as being Russ fucking knows that there are people that can't wait for him to fuck up and do some nut shit like fake streams. They can't wait. They are literally waiting in the fucking weeds to get on him about some bullshit like this. So he can't do it. No matter how bad he wants to, how bad he's thinking about it, he can't do it. He can't do it. Can't do it.
Second I did it, it would be Russ is faking the streams.
and let this be a lesson to all other independent artists.
Right, because guess what that narrative is? Now the narrative would be, see, you can't get real success
Without
independent unless you fake your stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to be with a major.
Yeah.
So, like, I just feel I owe it not just to myself, but to the whole, like, independent community to do it the real way.
Yeah.
And look, if that means that I have a ceiling here, then so be it. But at least this is real.
Yeah.
Why are y'all doing billions of streams and the tickets don't matter?
PrizePicks.com, guys, and if you use the promo code Schultz, they will match.
Yeah, man. That was a very, very that was a very dope joint right there, man. I fuck with it. I fuck with that. I fuck with that a lot. Matter of fact, we about to hop into the next one. Russ on how record executives create industry plans. Yeah, man. I need this. I need all this. I need all of this. I need all of this. You know what I'm saying? This shit is great. It's some good shit right here, man. I feel like I'm learning shit I shouldn't be learning right now. You know what I mean? Obviously, he can't point out names. Like, obviously, he can't say who exactly, but, like, come on. All right. Let's see.
You were an evil individual, record executive that wanted to create a system that could extract as much wealth from the artists that you possibly could, given the technology that exists right now. How would it look?
Easy money.
Okay.
You create somebody who is the most radical persona and image of counterculture as possible, and feed them hits. That's it. Like, think
Give
about
an example. Like,
so like me and Boogies talk about this all the time, which is, I think at its core, I think hip hop is black culture, right? And I think you've heard from a lot of different perspectives within the black culture. You've heard from the CEO, right? Jay-Z,
Sure.
which also drug dealer. You've heard from the artsy dude, Kanye. You've heard from a stripper. You've heard from it's like, what's the next extreme thing that you haven't heard from yet? What's the next extreme perspective you haven't heard from yet?
Gotcha.
Get that.
Gotcha.
Look at Sexy Red. I think Sexy Red.
I did you that.
I think Sexy Red is all. I don't.
I fucking knew, yo. I had it in my mind. I was like, yo, what about Sexy Red? That's what he said, Sexy Red. I fucking knew he was gonna say Sexy Red. I fucking knew it. I knew it, bro. And that's everybody in that room was thinking the same fucking thing. Everybody in that room was thinking the same thing. Hold on. Oh man, I knew he was going to say Sexy Red.
Subscribe to this like it's like a weapon of mass destruction. I just think like it's the natural progression of things. It's like Sexy Red is, I think, represents the authenticity that everyone else is almost trying to push. She's like the real deal. She's the real thing. Yeah. And that's why it resonates, because it's like, oh.
Very small percentage of the culture. Very small, but it's
it's impactful. But it's impactful and it's authentic. Yeah. And so
interesting.
Look at like the progression of the game, right?
But is it though? Like, is it though? I get it. Like every, you know, if you ghetto, right? But is it though? Is it authentic? Like, I think a lot of it's purposeful. I feel like what she does is very purposeful. You know, like you have to have a conscious mind to make every single thing you do ghetto as shit. Like you have to consciously think about, like, how can I make every single thing that I'm a part of ghetto as fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like Sukiana, same thing. Like, how can I do the most ghettoish shit? How can I make the simplest thing into the most ghettoest thing you've ever seen? And that's what Sexy Red does to me, and Sukiana and the rest of them. Like, that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, that's, in my mind, that's their job, is to ghettoify every single thing, right? Not saying there's not an audience for that, but it's just, man.
Okay, but where do you go after Sexy Red?
Right.
At some point, me and Boogs talk about this all the time. At some point,
it's got to stop.
You're going to hear, you've heard from the CEO, you've heard from the drug dealer, you've heard from the stripper, you've heard from the this. At some point, you'll hear from the crackhead. You'll hear from the this. No. You'll hear. Oh, shit.
Now, hold on.
Will. Oh, shit. Why would it stop at.
You're making a
Think
point.
about it.
Yo, I know exactly what he's talking about, and it makes so much sense. At some point, who's gonna, like, you're gonna run into the destruction, right? You're gonna run into it. You're gonna run into the artist that is gonna push a bunch of drugs, the artist that's gonna push maybe a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually it's gonna come to one of these super duper extremes that you just can't, it's inevitable. It's like fucking Thanos. Like, it's inevitable. Like, you're gonna run into something very destructive. People already think Sexy Red is super destructive to the, to the community, right? To hip hop, to the black community, whatever the case. So I can only imagine, like, what's after Sexy Red, like what's after that person. Like, that's what he's talking about, right? Like, where do we go after Sexy Red and Sukiana and all them? Like, where do we go after that? You know, like I'm kind of scared about that for real. My nigga said, "Oh shit," he said the crackhead.
Why would it stop here?
You're right.
Because you just get more
exhausted men. That's why women have been making the best music.
It's like, think about it, bro. Like, we're not stopping here. It's gonna go to the next level, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next.
It's more extreme.
Oh yeah, and bro, give it 10 years, a legitimate, like where it's like clear that that's their brand, will have a #1 song in the world and is a known crackhead, and we will be living in a Black Mirror episode where everyone is rooting and cheering on for the train wreck of a crackhead.
What was the first thing you said though? You said counterculture, right?
Yeah.
And counterculture is anything that goes almost completely against whatever the mainstream popularity is.
Well, and what correct me if I'm wrong. The culture of hip hop at its core and at its inception was intelligent movement.
Right.
What's the antithesis of intelligent movement?
Dumb as shit.
Being reckless.
Reckless.
Okay, we're like kind of close.
Yeah.
Well, no. To your point, I want to.
Everything right now, like why the old heads are like hip hop is dying is because what is happening is counterculture to the culture of hip hop's inception.
Yeah.
Okay.
The shit happening in hip hop is actually counterculture in the culture.
Bro, man, I'm trying to tell you, dog. When it really first when hip hop really first came out and was first like introduced to the world, you know what I'm saying? You had so many rappers, you had so many MCs, right? That were spitting knowledge, right? Spitting consciousness, rapping, about all kinds of positive things, negative as well, right? Obviously, but it was a lot more uplifting. It was a lot more, you had Queen Latifah, UNITY, right? You had De La Soul, you had come on, man. Fuck. Why am I like blanking on all of them? I mean, you had Souls of Mischief. I mean, you had everything. Tribe Called Quest, right? Like you had all of this, right? And of course you had, some other, but for the most part it was uplifting. It was intelligence, right? They were talking about something. There was a message. The counterculture of that is exactly what the fuck you have right now. Nothing but nut ass shit and stupid shit, right? Now I'm not gonna lie, some of it's catchy, right? Good amount of it is, but it's not what it was. You know what I mean? And that's what they're talking about.
Is hip hop
to the counterculture? I'm curious about this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hip hop, I don't think had a #1 album last year.
Right. Until whatever it was. Yeah.
There is a form of music that has gained
I saw this
popularity.
And I sent it to the group chat. It was so spot on.
I'm curious your take on it. And is country this rebellion that you're talking about? Is this counterculture? If the mainstream culture, if everybody's listening to hip hop and hip hop it might not be representative of every single person in America, but it is popular music now. Is country now the most rebellious or counterculture thing to hip hop? And is that why it's become so popular?
I think it's not that black and white, but I think there's a couple things. I think it happened with rock music, which is subject matter in rock music reached the ceiling where we had heard everything.
Yeah.
And I think with rap, we have heard everything. Oh, you're also sliding on an op? Heard that. Mm-hmm. In fact, I heard it and it was better. You're selling drugs? I heard that. 50 did it, and it was way harder.
You're sad. You're emotional.
You're sad. Heard that. Cudi, way better. Drake, way. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything that's happening in rap, I've already heard the better version.
So
of it.
what haven't we heard yet?
So it's reached this point of we've heard all of this. It's like at this sort of breaking point where what's about to happen, and that's one layer of it. I think the other layer is people who listen to country and rock, they weren't on the streaming platforms at first. They were still on iTunes. Yeah. Right?
They were still buying CDs.
Yeah. They've migrated over where now my dad is on Spotify. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
That was the last genre of music that was still
right. So now you're getting the audience that was basically country music's audience, in my opinion, was last to migrate to streaming. But now that they have, people are seeing that, wow, there's a lot of them.
Think about
So it's not necessarily a rebellion. It's just that they were the last ones to convert.
To migrate.
And because of the conversion of migration, now we're seeing these numbers that look astronomical, but those were always the fucking numbers.
There. They were always there.
That's interesting.
Right.
They were always there.
Been moving units.
Yeah, they were always there. They were just
always
last
had
to the
their
party.
own award show that was huge.
They were just last to the party is all that happened, in my opinion. But also, I do think rap's subject matter has reached a ceiling where there's no new perspectives being introduced outside of like the select few, which is why like I know a lot of people had flack for Kendrick's most recent album, but in my opinion, Father Time is like one of the greatest songs released in the past 10 years because I've never heard a mainstream rapper talk about, and I could be wrong, right? I don't want to like say that this is the God's honest truth, but it's like I just have never heard a mainstream rapper talk about father issues in that light. I thought it was fucking profound. I've heard mother issues and all that.
Or child abuse. He talks about.
Yeah, it's like I think introducing new concepts into the lexicon of rap is powerful. And if you don't like the sound of it, that's fine, that's fair, that's taste. But I respect that, and that's why I did Santiago, was because honestly, like Kendrick's album, and really Father Time inspired me to speak on my issues because I was like, so it's safe to do that? And then I think I also like talked about shit that's never been talked about before. And
this is all forms of art. Once people see that it can be done, they feel way more comfortable.
Are his fucking eyes different colors? What the fuck? Why haven't I known this? Like, why didn't I see this? Or is it just the lighting? What the fuck?
Doing it themselves as well. They just can't conceptualize talking about like an abusive childhood or a relationship with their parents, which they might also have, but they're too locked in this game of how can I replicate what's successful? Once you make something else successful, they start going, well, I would also like to try to do that.
Sure. The labels are hanging on by a thread. I'll tell you this.
Wait, whoa.
The labels are not going to allow rap to fall by the wayside like that. They're going to keep boosting and juicing the stream so that it appears that, what are y'all talking about? Rap's not losing steam. There's country, sure, but we're still crushing. No, you're not.
Wow.
You're having to spend a lot of money to keep up the facade.
Right.
This is A Star Is Born. What is the Lady Gaga movie? It's that.
A Star Is Born, yeah.
It's right now, the labels are doing everything they can to keep the makeup and the wig and the choreography going so that it looks like shit is popping. But it's not. It's not.
And how does that end? Do they run out of money?
No, I think it's like every genre.
I think, bro, to be honest, once again, the truth is boring, right? Here's the truth. You know what it is? 4 years ago, every CEO was signing every SoundCloud rapper and their cousin. You know what they're about to do? Sign every country artist and their cousin. And guess what? The country artists, like we talked about before, they'll make enough money to cover the loss of the rappers that they're still fronting. And so it doesn't matter. It'll always look like rap's still doing its thing. Country's booming, yeah, but rap is still crushing. Yeah, but y'all are signing the country artists. I know, because I'm talking to I still have relationships with the people at the labels, and some of them are good people, and we talk about it all the time, where it's like, their whole focus is country artists.
My theory is
the whole focus is, look at Morgan Wallen, bro.
Are
you kidding?
Well, he uses some words rappers use.
Bro, Morgan Wallen, Morgan Wallen, Jelly Roll.
Shout out Jelly.
Yo, that's the man.
Bailey Zimmerman, like all these dudes who are like, dudes and women who are coming through this vessel of this singer-songwriter, country twang, alternative sort of space. That's who the labels are scooping up like they were doing 6 years ago with like Lil TJ and Polo G and all those kind of guys. It's like, that's what they're on now. It's musical chairs, bro. It's like thinking that these people actually give a fuck about you is a mistake.
Now, real quick. If rap starts to, let's say, struggle and views and streams are harder to come by.
Yeah.
Do you think that rappers will resort to more extreme tactics in order to garner those views or streams, and that's how the art becomes.
Oh, of course they will.
Why so serious?
Of course they will. Shout out to Dark Knight. They 100% will. They pretty much already have, to be honest.
And doing all these crazy things, or the slide on the ops gets even crazier. I need to do something even crazier in order to get the reaction that I did before.
Yes, but also it's like labels. I think labels are going
Go
to.
like this right here. You got something on your chin. Yeah, you got it.
Get it from me. I think labels are going to continue to prop up rap to attract newcomers. Mm-hmm. Because, put it like this, right? Labels letting rap fall is a bad idea for them. Because now where the up-and-coming rapper is going to go to. Mm-hmm. They're going to feel like, well, no, I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to sign because all these rappers are falling off. But if you keep seeing rappers doing crazy numbers, you're like, all right, so there's still a place for us. So they're going to keep propping it up, knowing deep down, damn, we're having to spend 30 grand every 4 weeks.
You low-key should like, I feel like I should be paying for information like this. Like, straight up. I mean, some of it is kind of, like, some of it is basic, but with a good amount of it is shit that, like, damn, like, this is some this is some good shit right here, Russ. My dog's name is Russ, by the way. So, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that should let you know, like, you know? You know what I mean? I'm true to this, not new to this, y'all.
Weeks to keep all these rappers propped up, but these country artists are making millions. But you know what? At least we're still recruiting and persuading these up-and-coming rappers to come over here.
And they want to keep the rappers so they don't lose like market share?
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. Also, you don't want to let an independent scene pop up.
This is a fact. I might even get, I don't know, my lawyer will probably call me after this. But when I left Columbia, first of all, I bought myself out of the deal.
What does that mean?
It means they wanted another album.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, I'm not doing another album. They said, okay, well, we need money. This is like layman's terms. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's $1 million and some change. Y'all can have it. And also part of that was, well, we want market share on your first 20 songs or whatever the fuck it was that you put out independent. What do I give a flying fuck about y'all's little dick measuring contest in the industry?
Meaning those songs.
Meaning, like, after I leave the label, when I put out 20 songs independently and Hits Daily Double puts out the market share report where UMG has 30%, Sony has 20%, Sony wanted to be able to claim my first 20 or whatever songs independently as part of their market share.
Even bonus.
Even if they're not with Sony, that was part. What do I give a fuck about y'all's weird dick measuring contest that you can flex to the other fucking weird CEO at the Christmas party?
Yep.
I don't give a flying fuck. I'm getting out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's what they're moving off of is market share.
Yes.
Because bonuses are attached with that. If you're number one in market share, get a bigger check.
Yeah, you as a CEO or whatever.
Of course.
So my theory with music genres is that any new music genre, it's going to have its spike, and then it's going to level out.
Sure.
Like, people say rock is dead. Rock's not dead. It's just smaller.
Yeah.
There's still
it'll
rock
boom
stations.
again?
People still no. I don't think it booms again. I think it just levels out. So it's like right now we're in the country boom.
Yeah.
And it's going to level out.
I just think country
Hip hop has leveled out.
Can I say
and
a hot take?
Now we have Afro beats,
Yes.
which is a new version of music that people haven't heard, and it's booming.
I want to say so many hot takes.
No, but say your country's not new. Country's been around for.
No, but I know what he's saying. But I know what you're saying.
New to like streamers and just like new to the marketplace where
This is the
music's
first.
being consumed.
This is the first time since streaming boom where country was cool to young people.
Yes.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
But to that point, I think.
Yeah, because
I think
country's definitely always been, or at least for the most part, it's always been perceived as like an old person's music, right? Like music genre, country music. And now you have younger artists, doing it, and obviously younger artists doing it is they're going to attract younger fan bases. So I get that. But I mean, growing up, country definitely was like kind of looked at as a, an older person's music genre. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really appeal to me, but It does now. I swear I get my country on sometimes. You know, shout out to Luke Combs.
Once again, this is really me holding up a mirror because I'm white. So I feel like I can speak on this.
White people are the best.
White people and white boys and white chicks with the colleges and sororities and fraternities, so enamored by black culture, right?
Talk about it.
For a while, it went from I remember being in high school and there was pockets of the goth chicks and people who they listened to a certain kind of music. There was people listening to I went to high school 06. I was a freshman. 2010 I graduated. 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. So Snap Music and D4L and Soulja Boy came and performed at the pep rally, and so it was that era. It's there was the people who were listening to that and whatever. I think now what's happened with rap is that the people who would have been listening to goth music and goth artists and punk, artists, whether it was Chemical Romance or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Here's Lil Peep. Here's Juice WRLD. Here, hip hop gave every genre a representative.
Yeah.
But now what's happening, the pendulum has swung where it's you know what? I think I would just rather listen to just the goth artist or just the country artist, not the country hip hop mix, not the goth hip hop mix. There's enough art, it's time, right? It's time where it's it was also hip hop dominated. We got to really think, right? It's been 2024, it's been 10, 11, 12 years since trap boomed and it was a complete insurgence and takeover, right? Where rap and mainly the production of rap and the trap influence was in everything. Right. Ariana Grande was putting out albums that had trap hi-hats. You feel me? It's you got the biggest pop stars in the world using hip-hop influence and 808s and shit like that. So I just think now enough time has passed where people are oh, it starts with the artist where it's you know what? I think I just want to make some punk pop goth shit. Some fucking Boys Like Girls, Chemical Romance, All American Reject shit. I just want to do that. And then the same people who were listening to maybe the emo version of hip hop are oh, you know what? It was really this that I was looking for. This just wasn't there in 2014, but now it is there. And I just think that that's what's happening. It's
People
becoming
are
a lot
more nuanced in their
it's becoming a lot
digestion.
more compartmentalized.
Yeah.
It's if you want pop punk emo shit, there's actually pop punk emo bands that can just fulfill that role. And if you want trap rap, there's that.
Yeah.
I think the past 10 years, rap just bled over to everything. And so it was massive. And now I think you have people
hey man,
Noah Khan.
This nigga spitting, bro. Yeah, dog. Oh my God. I used to love me some Green Day back in the day. Don't want to be in America. Yeah, da 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 da. That used to be my shit. I think a lot of black people had a rock, time that they had a time period where they liked rock. All right, some people still do. I still do. I still enjoy a nice rock song. Nothing wrong with that. If I'm out at the store or some shit, or if I'm out and I hear a song playing or whatever, I'll be quick to download that shit, or I'll be quick to stream it. Real quick. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is pull out my phone, Shazam that bitch, and we in there. You gotta be quick with it though. You can't be slow. I missed out on a good amount of songs being slow as hell with the joint.
Who are singer-songwriters in the Lizzie McAlpines or whatever her name is. She's fucking incredible. And just, Luke Bryan's and Morgan Wallen's and Bailey's, just all these people who occupy real estate that maybe 5 years ago belonged to rap fans. There was an overlap, but now it's just very clear to those same fans that actually this is just what I wanted. Morgan Wallen blew up, right? And I think within a year or two, not Morgan Wallen, Noah Khan, that song Stick Season, it's fucking incredible. Sold out Fenway Park.
Wow,
Jesus.
really?
Yes, I think 2 nights in a row.
Jesus.
Wow.
And it's Fenway Park, but you say the name Noah Khan in a hip hop space.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
I don't know who Noah Khan is.
You've heard
Okay.
the song.
But Stick Season is fucking incredible.
They're also probably not buying as many fake streams.
No, but like, you know what?
The numbers.
You know what? To me, bro,
You
like,
never know. You never know.
I'm just so passionate about.
It's just not reflected. In
I'm so
sales.
passionate about great music,
Yeah.
and I think that is what will always win.
Yeah.
It's great music, and I think a lot of artists and a lot of people, they get caught up in why things aren't working, why is hip hop failing, why is this? You know what? The greats are always going to be fine.
The greats are always.
The greats are always going to be fine.
Always
the
gonna
people
be
who
fine.
are never that ill will always fall off.
Sorry, this is not related to what you said, but I just didn't want to forget it. Can you talk about industry plants a little bit? Like, I hear that term a lot.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what it
You know
is.
what
Yeah.
that means to people, and it's so
Dog,
funny
this
because
is amazing. This is an amazing interview. I'm learning so much shit. I hope y'all learn this shit. I learned it. I really didn't plan on watching this, but like I just saw it. I was like, yo, let me just fucking watch it and see what happens. This is amazing. I'm learning a lot of shit. This happens every single time I turn on a Russ interview. Like I always learn like one or two things that I didn't know before about the music business. Man, they be faking the funk out here.
the prerequisite years ago used to be you had to be an industry plant. And what industry plant means is basically like, we only know you because the industry planted you here. Well, that used to be the only way you could be known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about it, right? It's like the first time I heard J. Cole was 2009 on Blueprint 3 on A Star Is Born.
Right.
I remember I bought Blueprint 3 and Cuddy's debut on the same day, September 9th, I think, 2009, right? September 13th, something like that. That was the first time I heard J. Cole. Then I heard the warm-up, and it was a rap, and I was a fan.
Mm-hmm.
He was an industry plant by industry plant standards because first time I hear he's on a Jay-Z album, that's a crazy
I think he
introduction.
was already signed to
Yeah.
Jay.
That's
Yeah, he was
that
already
used to
signed.
be
I grew up in
Yeah.
Queens, and he went to St. John's, I
St.
believe,
John's,
and
yeah.
he was like, I saw him handing out.
Right. So you were like early in that way, but it's like
before he was done.
it's like you used to only be able to find out about artists if the industry pushed them.
Yeah.
And then the internet opened up and a lot of this like organic rise and guerrilla movements happened to the point where it was very clear like if you blew up via internet and guerrilla style or if like an industry put you there. And so it started this conversation of nah, you're not as real as them, and you know, and for me it's like it used to fuck with me a lot, to be honest. People calling me an industry plant.
Yo, what I just say?
All the work you did.
Yeah.
Bro, because I am the
Dog, I literally just said that. They used to call him an industry player. They used to call him that. Some people still do.
furthest thing from it. And if like, and I get mad because I'm like, one, it discredits the work, but two, I'm like, damn, bro, like, y'all are missing out on so much inspiration. Do you understand that, like, if you actually realize the truth, that you would realize you can do it too?
Yeah.
They
You
don't
know what I'm
want that.
saying? It's like, bro,
They want the justification
It's like-
for why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They don't want to know
of
how to do it.
course.
They'd rather not do the work and have an excuse.
Yeah.
And it, yeah,
It's
bro.
part of the Nepo baby thing.
He's on because he cheated, not
Right.
because you're nice.
Right.
And it worked your ass
And you
off.
figured out the system and you did that.
Well, your
Yeah,
parents had
bro.
money, so
Yeah.
actually it doesn't count what you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And it, bro,
He figured out how to play the game, and he played the game to his benefit. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not a, it's not a bad thing. Like, you figure out the system that you're in, and you move accordingly within it, right? Or you know it so well that you know how to kind of circumvent a lot of the bullshit. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Especially when you know his story. Like, I know it sounds like I'm dick riding a little bit, but like, I'm telling you, I learn so much every single time. Like, I fucking listen to this nigga. It's crazy.
it used to bother the fuck out of me. Because I prided myself on that. It was a part of my identity.
Yeah.
Was my come up. You know what I mean? Like, damn, y'all about it. Like, especially it came during a time where they were taking away everything else, it felt like. I was like, damn, y'all taking away that too?
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing that was like Teflon. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Like
wait,
what?
y'all are saying this now?
What were they saying?
And I remember the dude who started the rumor, straight up. And I'm cool with him now.
What rumor? What were they saying?
So the rumor was, it started on Kanye Titha. It was a forum.
Yeah.
Right? And the rumor was my dad worked for Columbia. And that's how I got on.
Yeah.
First of all, none of that makes sense. Right? It's like, so then Why did I have to put out 11 mixtapes?
Yeah.
Oh, so he conveniently got hired after the 11th mixtape?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
PrizePicks.com.
Okay. So his dad does work for Columbia? But regardless, I mean, okay, fine. So he works for Columbia. He could, for all we know, he could be the guy in the mailroom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could be the fucking dude that goes and gets coffee. Like, you know, like he's not the fucking CEO. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you still gotta do the work. Period. Point blank. You still gotta do the work. You know? It is what it is, man. Yo, man, this is fucking amazing. This is fucking amazing, man. I'm gonna have to watch the rest of it on my own, but yeah, man. Shout out to Russ, man. Shout out to Russ, bro.